One of the most shocking images in the original Matrix is Neo's awakening in the real world, emerging from a pod, a type of incubator where the humans lie and sleep, connected to the Matrix. But what exactly are those pods, and how do they work? How was this scene filmed? Today we're going to take a look at one of the most fascinating devices in the Matrix universe, the pods. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Thomas Anderson takes the red pill and wakes up inside a placenta-like capsule with multiple cables attached to his body and submerged in a pink viscous liquid. He breaks out of the pod and sees countless other pink pods as far as the eye can see, all attached to tree-like towers. It's a terrifying sight, like something out of a nightmare. Later, Neo learns the horrifying truth about these towers of pods.
The human body generates more bioelectricity than a 120-volt battery and over 25,000 BTUs of body heat. Combined with a form of fusion, the machines had found all the energy they would ever need. There are fields now, endless fields, where human beings are no longer born. We are grown. In order to change a human being into this.
Machines create humans in a type of laboratory, then place them inside these pods to grow, develop, and extract their bioelectricity. Currently in the real world, there exist labs where human stem cells are harvested, studied, and used to create new cells for the betterment of human health. Companies growing animal meat substitutions for vegetarians. The cultivation of organisms has been around for a long time now. However, there are restrictions, such as laws that prevent scientists from experimenting with humans or the cloning of humans. The machines do not have these scientific, ethical, or moral restrictions. We can assume that the pods are a mechanism to develop humans at random to have a diverse gene pool. In essence, humans are artificially created by the machines, and from day one, they live inside these pods until they die or escape. The word Matrix has several meanings. The film uses the definition of being a computer-simulated structure or world, but in ancient Rome, a matrix was a female animal kept for breeding or a plant, sometimes called a parent plant or mother plant, whose seeds were used to produce other plants. Also, matrices can be used to refer to the mother's womb, and that is what these pods are. They are artificial wombs or matrices created to grow humans. Interestingly, the pod's oval shape attached to the tall structures resembles a tree with hanging fruit, a visual design possibly inspired by the concept of the Matrix in ancient Rome. Therefore, these power plants were meant to resemble real plants or trees. So what are these pods made of? The pod's most recognizable characteristic is its color, the pink fluid. What is this slime-like material? We're not sure, but Morpheus gives us a hint of what the fluid could be made out of.
Watch them liquefy the dead so they could be fed intravenously to the living.
So the recycling process of the deceased is not simply liquefying the bodies and disposing of them. They go through a process of extracting nutrients and possibly stem cells to increase the productivity and survivability of the newly cultivated. The program in charge of this recycling process is Rama Kundra.
Oh yes, I am the power plant systems manager for recycling operations.
Rama is an AI that works directly in the fields, processing the dead bodies for recycling. Most babies after exiting the placenta are born with hair, but the pod liquid prevents hair growth. But this viscous substance does not only consist of processed human remains. It's not only used for the nurturing of the living, it has preservation properties. We assume that the liquid has anti-aging properties. It keeps the body young for as long as possible to extract as much energy as possible. Another important function of the pods is the preservation of the human muscles. Neo spent 33 years inside a pod, floating in this pink liquid. His muscular dystrophy should be irreversible. Now you might think that the medical equipment installed in the Red Pill's ship is advanced enough to regenerate the muscle. However, we cannot attribute Neo's use of muscles solely to the Nebuchadnezzar's medical equipment. When Neo wakes up in the pod, he is strong enough to break out of it. He uses his arms and hands to remove the tubes from his mouth and to struggle to escape the grasp of a robot. A human who has spent their entire life in suspended animation should not have this level of dexterity or strength. These pods are partly designed to preserve muscle strength and flexibility, to protect the body from muscular dystrophy. But why would pods have this function? Remember that part of the machine's system of control is Zion. The city is needed to help contain the integral anomaly. If the humans who awake cannot move, much less break out of the pods, they will die. There would be no humans to inhabit Zion, and the machine's plan to control the anomaly would be ineffective. So it's in the machine's best interest that those humans who wake up from the Matrix can move, survive, and escape to Zion. Now about the cables connected all around the human body. We suppose that most of these cables are used to extract the bioelectricity from the body. There is one long tube that is inserted into the mouth and nose. One part is responsible for administering oxygen, and the other delivers sustenance to the body. And of course, there is the one cable jack into the back of the head that connects the human to the simulation. The red pills use the same jack to hack themselves into the Matrix. The pods and power plants are guarded by sentinels and harvester robots. We have a theory about one of these machines, but that's for another video. After the guardian or harvester robot verifies the human is either dead or disconnected from the system, it flushes the pod. The remains are dumped and recycled, but if the human is alive, the red pills come to retrieve them, nurture them, and train them to become red pills. In the making of The Matrix, we can see how the scene with Neo emerging from the pod was made with practical effects. Keanu Reeves was submerged in the pink slime, nearly naked and clean-shaved. We love these types of filmmaking, and we hope that Matrix 4 will again impress us with practicality. But do you agree? Will we see these pods again in Matrix 4? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.